Hi besties, and welcome back to day 2 on Tiny Toot. This island has made me so excited to play Animal Crossing again, and I'm catching myself wanting to do my dailies every day again like it's 2020. I don't know, something about resetting the Animal Crossing island just makes me feel so nostalgic for when the game first came out, and I know that it's 5 years later and a lot of people have given up on Animal Crossing, but I have to say, there is some serious power in just resetting your island and starting from the very beginning again. For day 2, I just started off by trying to figure out what my dailies are actually going to be on this island. No idea what happened there with how I didn't figure out how to actually go into resident services, but you can see we're off to a pretty good start. So far, I'm thinking that I will be running the beach a few times a day, looking for shells and of course DIY recipes because I'd have almost none right now. But the shells sell for a pretty good amount in Nook's Cranny, so I'm going to try to sell those a few times a day. You also do get Nook Mile rewards for how many shells you sell in the shop, so I'm hoping to actually complete all of the Nook Mile rewards for Tiny Toot, which is something that I've actually never done on any of my Animal Crossing islands. I feel like everyone plays Animal Crossing just a little bit different, and I tend to lean pretty heavily towards the themed decorating, and if you have been a longtime watcher of the Foxgrove channel, then you already know that, as I have finished I think 13 islands at this point, which is kind of insane. And while I do really love decorating, I feel like I've kind of missed out on this part of the game. I've never finished my museum, and I've never actually gotten all of the Nook Mile rewards. I've also never paid off my house with money that I earned. I've always just visited Treasure Island, gotten max bells, and then paid off my house and upgraded as quickly as humanly possible so that I can fit lots of items on the island for decorating and, of course, restyle my house. But I do feel like there's a certain amount of pride that comes from actually selling all of your things and paying off of your home the right way. But yeah, that's what I'll be doing on Tiny Toot. So I guess you could say those are 3 pretty big goals that I have for myself: to finish the museum, to earn all of the Nook Mile rewards, and to pay off my house with money that I earned through capitalism, I guess. So I came in here and I saw Tom Nook and Timmy just, having this very interesting conversation in which they're totally not talking about me and how badly they want to ask me to do everything right in front of me. Yeah, that's totally not what's happening. Yeah, oh, I didn't see you there. How funny, Tom. That's so weird. That's another thing. I never really play with other Animal Crossing players. I'm pretty much always just decorating and doing my own thing. And I have already visited so many more Animal Crossing islands just to look in their shops and also to kind of like get DIY recipes and things like that. And I'm having so much fun playing again. It feels so nice. So yeah, this was our first Nook's Cranny of the day. There wasn't really a whole lot I wanted to buy in here because I am trying to be pretty conscious of money while also, progressing the game. I didn't have the ability to get a shovel yet on my home island, so this trip was basically just to get the shovel so that I can get all of the materials that I need to upgrade the shop. But of course, we have to be fashionable too. I was really hoping for a different shirt because the plaid is not really my vibe. I'm more of a gingham girly and a checkered girly, not whatever that was, plaid, I guess. So yeah, I was considered getting the dress shirt, but that's just also not my vibe, and I didn't want to waste money on it, so I kind of just left looking like this. So yeah, it really ties it together that my eye is swollen shut. But here's our flyover on Tiny Toot for a second. Isn't it so heckin' cute? And then I decided that I should probably plant the cherries that my mom sent me because you do get a Nook Mile reward for that. And I kind of want to make a little orchard on this island. Like, everything that I decorate is going to be very 2020 course. It's going to be super simple, basic. Yeah, that's the vibe, and I'm so excited for it. It's very low stress. So I'm just throwing the orchard over here, which consists of 3 cherries, but hey, we don't need to talk about that. And I headed on to the next island, and this was the Nook's Cranny. There were some items in here. I couldn't stomach the price of these items. I have very little money. as you can see. I think I have some more in my ABD, but not in my pockets, so I was trying to be careful. I decided to prioritize getting flowers because that's what I'll need to get to 3 stars on the island, and I'd really like to get to 3 stars sooner rather than later. I also couldn't resist getting the common wall because I love that wallpaper. It's actually one of my favorites ever in the game, so couldn't resist the opportunity to snag that. And then we had another attempt to try to get a shirt that was just a little bit better. There were some better options here in this Nook's Cranny, and I think I ultimately went for the boa fleece, which I think looks super cute and is probably actually a little bit closer to something that I would wear in real life. I did consider some of the other little vests and the fishing vests, and I think I also tried on the peacoat at some point. I'm really not a dress girly, so I kind of just skipped over all of that, and then I was like, hey, maybe some glasses will kind of cover up this giant wasp sting that I'm hanging out with. Also, maybe some different shoes? I have no idea. I think that I ended up leaving with the boa fleece and those like Converse style shoes and the glasses, and I'm pretty sure that we call it a day. I think this actually ends up being like almost all of the money that I had left, so I clearly am not doing so good pacing myself with the spending, but that's also pretty realistic to me in real life, so yeah. I guess maybe that's a problem for later me. And then we flew back to the home island, and that is the end of my shopping for the day by force because I have no more money. But at least I got Nook Miles for traveling, and I also got a shovel, so hey, a win is a win. One of the other daily things that I want to do is try to get at least 5 of the Nook Miles Plus redemptions. I feel like that'll help me kind of get into the daily spirit a little bit. If I don't actually manage to get 5 every day, it's not like the biggest deal ever, but I do feel like it'll help me get into kind of the daily spirit, so I'm excited for that. And then I decided to start cracking at these rocks and try to get some iron nuggets so that I can get the shop today. I don't know why I was so fixated on getting the shop on the second day on the island. Spoiler alert, I don't manage to do that. But, you know, I did manage to put some shoes in my house, which is a win, I guess. I did go ahead and grab some fruit from my last friend's island that I visited. I feel like that's not cheating because I think that's actually the only way that you can get all the fruit in the game is by sharing with friends. So yeah, that's super fun. And yeah, I got lots of Nook Mile rewards for planting all the fruits, and we do get kind of the beginning of an orchard, which is super fun. I do want to say that I ended up having to dig up all of those trees and place them just a little bit further apart. So if you are watching this and you're thinking, hey girl, those trees aren't going to grow, don't worry. I definitely moved them, but it's been a while since I've had to place the trees like that, so I guess it took me a second. And here I am agonizing over how to spend my Nook Miles. Part of me wanted the tool ring. It's pretty cheap. I also wanted the pocket organization guide, but I don't have enough to... Well, I guess I did have enough to get both. I don't know. I also really wanted the hairstyles, so it was kind of like, do I want to be cute or do I want to be functional? And if that isn't the struggle of everyday life, I don't know what is. After that, I got cracking at these trees and tried to get all of the hardwood, softwood, and wood that I needed to build the shop, which takes a really long time. And unfortunately, I don't have enough trees on the mainland to get anywhere near the amount of wood I'm gonna need. I also wanted to have some wood stockpiled for when we start building the villager houses. And yeah, there's just a lot of wood that is needed at the beginning of the game. I'm also thinking about the fact that I'm gonna have to farm all of my materials anytime I want to make DIY recipes now, and I have to say that might be one of the biggest downsides to not using treasure islands and having a completely vanilla save. But the good news is I did get 2 different Nook Mile rewards for all of my tree chopping, so it did make it a little bit more worth it. I'm trying to decide if I want to stop redeeming them until there's 5 in a row so I can keep track of how many I've done, or if I want to redeem it and kind of try to memorize so that I can tell, so I can just get more Nook Miles. I don't know. I think ultimately I'm just going to redeem them when I get them and try my best to remember. I did manage to donate all of the required things to Blathers, or rather to Tom Nook. So I did place Blathers' tent and we just kind of put it towards the front of the island. I am going to be upgrading the museum, obviously, because I'm going to try to complete absolutely everything. But yeah, that's going to come at a later time. And then I decided to go on a Nook Mile ticket because I didn't have enough iron nuggets and I was a determined woman to get Nook's Cranny today. Instead of Nook's Cranny, I got Piper. who is super, super cute. And of course, I decided to invite them over to Tiny Toot. I actually just love the way that her beak moves when she talks. It's so cute. Look at it. Oh my god. It's so funny. I did get this super cute dialogue from Piper after I asked her to move onto the island. She is actually really, really cute. I think she's a villager I've overlooked for a long time. And then I flew on to another Nook Mile island to continue farming. I literally hit every single tree, picked every single weed, took all of the fruits. Like, I pillaged this Nook Mile island. The bummer was that look how freaking cute the little frog. Wait, is that a bear? No, it's a pig. Okay. Hey, look how cute. I would have loved to invited that pig, but like I literally cannot get to them. Like I would have had to have a wetsuit, which I don't have yet in the game. So I just had to fly home and admit defeat. So I guess it just wasn't meant to be. I really wish that the game wouldn't allow you to like have a villager that you can't even possibly get to. That's literally such a bummer. Nintendo, why? But I did have some Nook Miles to redeem, and so I feel like I'm actually doing really good in terms of Nook Mile grinding for today, so I'm happy with that. I did decide to spend my money on yet another Nook Mile ticket. Yeah, don't judge me. Maybe not the smartest use of all of those Nook Miles I earned, but I'm impulsive and I just wanted to do it. I did end up getting Tia, so I definitely think the Nook Mile Island was worth it. I think she's so, so, so cute. I'm getting really lucky so far with the villagers on Tiny Toot. And then we flew back to the island because I feel like we've actually done quite a lot of things for day 2 on Tiny Toot, but I'm having so much fun doing it and I'm so excited to see how this island develops over time. But if you are enjoying this series so far, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you very soon for day 3 on Tiny Toot. Bye!